For those of you who clicked on this video with the thought that I'm using this topic for views and or clout, yes, I am. I am a YouTuber living in capitalistic America. Why would I not capitalize on something that's bringing traffic to my channel? 2 + 2 = 4. But it isn't even all about that, because I didn't plan to make a follow-up to my hate video on Lestat until season 3 came. But not only has it been so very entertaining to watch his sympathizer spiral, it's also been very revealing. A lot of you actually lack critical thinking skills. I'm not gonna be nice in this video. And even though I was speaking very passionately and cursing in my initial hate video, I still had it in my mind to be as civilized as possible in the comment section when discussing the show. But my intelligence can only be belittled so much, to the point where now you people need to catch these metaphorical hands. I cannot tell you how many people in those comments kept bringing up the books or telling me that I don't understand Gothic media and there are no good guys and bad guys and everyone's the villain and blah blah blah. Please shut up. Y'all use that as a crutch to turn your brains off and avoid analyzing bad behavior. Just because a show is gothic and meant to show horrendous shit doesn't mean I have to like or absolve a character of that horrendous shit. And I can still enjoy the show that has that horrendous shit. I know, shocker. I'm sure that's something that never crossed a lot of your teeny tiny little brains, but it's possible, I promise. And then there are those of you who also say that I'm an Arman sympathizer or apologist because I believe his actions are more justified than Lestat's, which many of you have misrepresented as me implying anything he did was good. No, I just believe that he's more justified in comparison to Lestat, and I stand on that until further notice, and you can stay mad about it. So let's address the books first. Stop. I don't give a fuck about what's in the books. It doesn't matter. Stop bringing them up. It's redundant. From what I've seen, a lot of the sympathizers seem to think that the book should be some sort of prerequisite or mandatory reading in order to consume the show. That's stupid. I haven't read the books, but I'm pretty sure that Claudia wasn't 14 in the books. I'm definitely sure that Louis wasn't black in the books, and I'm damn sure that Lestat didn't drop Louis from 100+ feet in the air in the books. So if those things aren't even in the books, what sense does it make to constantly bring up the books when we're talking about the actions in the show? Y'all hoes are slow, like actually below the speed limit. Not to mention the audacity some of you imbeciles have. Somebody came into my comment section talking about we can't come into a 50-year-old fandom spouting our idiotic nonsense. Bitch, who the fuck do you think you are? First of all, I'ma do what I want and you can suck a big fat white schlong, probably Lestat's, since you hoes seem to be simping for him so bad. Secondly, did the show we're talking about exist 50 years ago, moron? No, it didn't, so stop. But let's not forget that in addition to how many of you are touting the books, you're also relying on the word of Anne Rice and the actors and the showrunners, what they have to say. I don't care. You morons don't think for yourselves, and it shows. I don't have to agree with Anne Rice or the showrunners or the actors. My opinion is my opinion. Stop trying to enforce this idea that because these people see it differently, that we should all see it that way too. Once you put art out there, it is no longer yours. It is up for the audience to interpret. Intent does not negate impact. This is a fundamental concept when it comes to writing for an audience. It doesn't matter what your intention was. If the audience sees it a different way, then you have to live with that. I'm a writer myself. One of my biggest goals in life is to become a published author. So I have to be okay with the reality that there are gonna be people out there who hate my work or don't understand the vision that I had for it. I have to be okay with that. And it is okay. So bottom line, the book and the show are two completely different entities and they should be consumed as such. So stop trying to use the books to justify actions on the show. You look silly. And on that note, let's go ahead and address the apparent spoiler for season 3. If you don't want to hear it, I'll put a timestamp and you can skip ahead, but we're gonna get into this. So apparently the tea is Arman forced Lestat to be part of that trial in the books or whatever. I don't know. I haven't read the books. But that's what these people are saying in the comments. That's what they're alluding to. First of all, you're spoiling the show for people who haven't read the books, you inconsiderate dweeb. If that's the plot twist for season 3, you have now effectively ruined it for the people in the comments who are just the show watchers because you want to be in my comments defending Lestat based on the books. You're so desperate to save face on Lestat's behalf that you're revealing shit that the show hasn't even revealed yet. If you are not able to justify Lestat's actions within the realm of the show with what we know so far, shut up. Now, if it turns out to be true, I have no problem acknowledging that, and I can give Lestat grace in that specific instance. However, I'm still not gonna forget about how he treated Louis and Claudia. He was still abusive. I'm not absolving him of that. And I said as much in my video when I said no matter what he went through, what he did to them will never be justified. Now onto this idea that consuming Gothic media somehow means I shouldn't acknowledge or talk about a character's shitty behavior. Yeah, that's dumb too. I can enjoy a gothic or dark show that's meant to be gothic and dark and still feel my feelings towards certain characters, especially when that character is a driving force behind the narrative. And if feelings are supposed to be taken out of it, why is it okay for you to love Lestat but me hating him is a problem? This is especially stupid because the people saying things like this are the same people who hate Arman, and not in the love to hate kind of way, they just hate him. That's fine, but God forbid someone hate Lestat, then suddenly, oh, it's a gothic show, blah, blah, blah. You should stop watching the show. Shut the fuck up. The rationale you people possess is actually baffling, and it's incredibly disingenuous. Also, I'm getting told that because Lestat's the main character next season that I should stop watching. No. Did I or did I not, in the very beginning of my hate video, literally the first 2 minutes, say that Lestat is a fundamental character, he's entertaining, he's charismatic, and he should stay on the show for as long as it lasts? Did I or did I not say that? I love the show and nearly everything about it. Yes, even the role Lestat plays in it. My hating him isn't driven by a dislike for the character's existence. He's a fundamental part of the show, he's entertaining, he's charismatic, and he needs to stay around for as long as the show lasts. I just loathe him as a person, which is actually a good thing because it means I'm emotionally invested. I did. So how does your mind translate that to me hating Lestat so much that I can't stand to watch him be the main character on the show? Why do I have dummies in my comment section telling me that I shouldn't watch the show, as if I didn't already make it clear that I enjoy the role he plays, I just don't like him. I can still enjoy the show even if he's a central character. Y'all are ridiculous. And now onto this idea that I'm an Arman apologist. This is how I know that a very large portion of you did not watch that video in its entirety, or if you did, you were listening with your ears closed. I call Arman disgusting. I say that he's a pathetic, broken soul. Armand isn't innocent. He's another pathetic, broken soul in this concoction of pathetic, broken souls doing deplorable shit for the sake of ego, cowardice, and a misguided sense of love. Oh, Armand lied for 70+ years about the fact that he was prepared to let them both die. Cool, he's disgusting, but that doesn't change the fact that Lestat is worse. What part of that screams I'm an Arman supporter? Please answer that question. Please, I implore you, make it make sense. Another thing I make very clear at the start of that video, again, within the first few minutes, is that there are levels to the terrible in the show, okay? Lestat is the first, Armand comes next. I don't like any of these people's actions. I am not an Arman supporter, nor am I an Arman apologist, but you Lestat apologists are so blinded by your love for him that you refuse to see reason in anything that isn't a blatant attack on the other character, the one that you so desperately want to be the real villain. You see that as a dig on Lestat. The fact that any of you would try to twist this as if I'm somehow trying to absolve Armand of the things that he did when I very clearly say he is disgusting in that video is so incredibly dumb and reeks of brain rot. So let me be very clear. Just because I think Armand's actions are slightly more justified and or understandable than Lestat's, that doesn't mean I'm a supporter of his. I'm not writing for Armand. I just don't think he's worse than Lestat. And I feel like that was very clear in the initial video, but y'all are so intent on being stupid. And I was also very clear on why I don't think he's worse. Yes, he orchestrated the trial. That he did. He's shitty. I agree. But Lestat, Claudia's dad, participated. That is worse to me, and you're not gonna convince me otherwise until season 3 gives me a reason to believe otherwise. So get over it. And I really don't understand why y'all are so intent to focus more on the fact that Arman lied for 70 plus years, as opposed to Lestat helping getting his daughter killed. That shit actually confounds me. Oh, Armand erased his memories and lied about directing the trial for 77 years. Oh my god, he's clearly the villain. Bitch, Lestat dropped Louis from the sky just because he considered leaving with Claudia, and then later on he got Claudia killed. Like, hello? At least with Armand, we already know that he had it in him to kill Louis. He contemplated doing it when Louis didn't join the coven. So you expect me to suddenly clutch my pearls because he was prepared to let Louis die again? No, he'd already proven by that point that he was a piece of shit who was willing to let Louis die. Why would I sudden flip switch now just because he's revealed to be a liar too? Like what? It was already established to be a part of his character to do things like that. So, is he shitty? Yes. Is he worse than Lestat? No, not to me. He was not attached to Louis and Claudia like Lestat was. 2 decades, bitch. 2 decades he lived with them. 2 decades of living under the same roof. And he's their maker, apparently sharing the vampire bond. And apparently he loved Claudia. But you expect me to be more at Armand because why? I cannot sensibly understand why you would expect me to be more upset at this random dude that they ran into and spent some time with for a few years over the man who created them, had a bond with them, lived with them for 2 decades, and then abused the fuck out of them, and then gets one of them killed, but he loves them. You expect me to be more mad at Armand, and you think that makes sense. Okay, sure, have it. You got it. And I know a lot of you will stick to the idea that it's not about assigning blame and figuring out who's worse than who. Fuck that. I have eyes, and I know what I saw, and what I saw I did not like. I had a whole wide range of comments from people telling me that the way I analyzed Lestat was too simple, or that I just didn't understand his character. Maybe this is news to you guys, but you can understand a character and why they do the things they do without absolving them of the shitty things that they do. I can understand Lestat and why he behaves the way he does, and I'm sure season 3 will provide even greater understanding, and I'm excited for that. But that doesn't mean everything he does suddenly becomes justified or it is to be dismissed. That's not how that works. Oh, and don't even get me started on the comments that kept on saying, well, you can't look at it from a human lens. Vampires aren't moral. We shouldn't put human morality on them. Oh, have you ever been a vampire? No, me neither. There's inherently no other way to view the show aside from a human lens. I'm not a fucking vampire. That is a fictional, conceptualized thing. More than that, I happen to think that it's reductive to make that statement as if vampires are thoughtless, wild things who are just incapable of having any type of morality. Louis, for example, canonically on the show, has not killed anyone since the year 2000. Now, I'm not saying it would be wrong for him to kill people. They are vampires. Humans are their prey. I would never condemn them for that. That's silly. But this point proves that they are capable of having some type of personal morality. And definitely when it comes to them dealing with each other, I can hold them accountable for the shit that they do. They experience remorse. They experience empathy. They are intelligent beings who do know right from wrong to some degree when it comes to each other. There's a reason the video is focused on relationships. Morality is why Lestat is apologetic to Louis. Morality is why Louis comes back crawling to Lestat and expressing his own regrets for how he treated Lestat, even though, in my personal opinion, Louis was completely justified in his treatment of Lestat, but that's besides the point. And it's how they're able to understand that what Bruce did to Claudia was wrong. If they were just all around immoral creatures, we wouldn't have the show. Or at least not an interesting one. So yes, they are fully capable of having morals and acting within those morals. Yes, are they deep and complex and it's not black and white when it comes to how they interact and what they've been through? Of course not. No one's saying that. But I'm still able and in my right to analyze their behaviors and how they treat each other and still deem it wrong. They themselves do it. Why am I, as a viewer, burdened with the idea that I shouldn't be judging them for their horrible actions when they themselves are? That doesn't compute. Try again. Ultimately, through all of this, I've come to realize that a very large portion of this fandom simply cannot be reasoned with. Those who can't acknowledge that Lestat is an abuser, those who say Louis and Claudia were worse to Lestat, and those who leave belligerent comments like this one. Username Lestat Groupie thought that anything they had to say regarding this conversation would be taken seriously. But this comment and several others painted one glaring picture for me. A lot of the people who defend Lestat are children. Look at this comment, the verbiage, the username. This is a child. Probably 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. Any older than that, then it just becomes embarrassing. Like, I genuinely hope you are a child. But the point is, this person is clearly someone who's incapable of having a meaningful discussion and clearly incapable of understanding the weight of the discussion as pertains to the show. And I've seen people like this mention several times that, oh, you made an hour-long video. Okay, what point do you think you're making when you say that? I'm a YouTuber. I mean, clearly you're trying to paint this picture that I'm just obsessed and, I don't know, pressed about this fictional character that much, but that doesn't really track. No, I'm sure y'all are the same people who scroll on your cell phones for hours and hours consuming this very type of content. Maybe more positive, but you're still consuming the content. I'm sure you're watching edit upon edit. I'm sure you're watching reaction video upon reaction video of the show. That's much more time consuming media pertaining to the show than my little hour-long video. So if I'm obsessed, you definitely are. And what difference would it make if I was obsessed with the show? It's a good show. I like the show. That's what's killing me. Like, what do y'all be talking about? What do you be talking about? What do you be talking about? Oh, you made an hour-long video. So the fuck what? What are you trying to say? I'm sure if it was an hour-long video praising Lestat or an hour-long video praising the show, you would have no problem. But because it's an hour-long video specifically dedicated to me disliking a character that you happen to like, now it's a problem. Now you gotta clown me for making an hour-long video. You people are so disingenuous. You're stupid. You're grasping at nonsensical shit to spew for the sole fact that I dislike a character. Get over it. Just because I can sit down and have a meaningful dialogue about a show, a character, or whatever the case may be in that point in time does not mean that I'm going to care about it beyond that point in time. Okay? I made that video, I interact with the comments, and then I go on about my life. But yes, I indeed had thoughts specifically about how you guys are so quick to dismiss the abuse that this man inflicted on the people that he apparently loved. Yes, I had a lot to say about that in that moment, and I made the video, got it off my chest, and then I went on about my life, as I said that I would do. But honestly, stay mad. Y'all actively make me money. I'm monetized, bitch. I win. And I'm standing on everything I said until the show, not the book, the show presents me with something else. And then I'll make another video. See, the problem with y'all is y'all aren't used to people keeping it real on the internet. I'm not addressing y'all no more after this. I'm not making no more videos on this subject on the show, nothing, until season 3 comes, because I don't care that much. Like, I don't care to be mad at people because they don't like a character that I like. It's goofy as fuck. Yes, I speak passionately, and yes, I curse y'all out, but I promise you, beyond these little videos, I do not give a fuck. I run a commentary and reaction channel. My job is to commentate and react. I'm commentating and reacting on the things I'm being given, on things that I'm seeing. So yes, if I want to, I'm going to make a video on those things. That's just common sense. That makes sense. Why are y'all trying to twist that as if, oh, you care so much? Shut up. Shut up. I'm a YouTuber making a video on a topic. That doesn't mean I'm obsessed with the topic. I'm sharing my thoughts on that topic for a limited amount of time, and then I'm leaving it alone. Y'all don't move me. You're not scary. I don't care how big your fandom is or who disagrees with my takes. You're entitled to that. Express that in the comments. That's fine. When I made the video in the first place, I actually expected to get a lot more hate. Surprisingly, I had way more people agreeing with me than I thought I would, but I fully expected for that comment section to just be flooded with people disagreeing with me and hating on the fact that I made the video in the first place, and I was okay with that. I was ready for it, cause y'all are nobody. Y'all are people behind a screen. Half of you have depression and anxiety in real life. You would never talk to me crazy in real life, and you ain't gonna whoop my ass, so now what? At the end of the day, this is my channel. I run this shit. So if I have something that I want to say and a lot of people just happen to disagree with it, oh well, I'm still going to say what I want to say, period. Go ahead and whine and cry about it in the comments. I'm not mad. You're contributing to my groceries. How could I possibly be mad at you? Thank you. I'm just not afraid to call y'all on your shit, and I'll continue to do it for as long as I want to, because that's my job. So, for those of you who are already familiar with the channel, y'all already know how it goes. This is said by Ty, and I said what I said. But for you new bitches, this is said by Ty, and I said what I said. Bye, horse.